welcome to episode 52 of the Compassion and Cucumbers podcast. I'm Christine.
And I'm Sam.
And that's right, it's episode 52, which means next week we will be celebrating our 1-year podcast anniversary. Is that right?
That's right.
Okay, we had a discussion before we started recording.
You really want to call it a discussion?
I was saying, because it's been 52 weeks, that I thought in my brain that today would be the year anniversary. But Sam says...
No, absolutely not.
Because...
Last year, the first episode dropped on September 21st, 2021.
Okay.
So the equivalent of that date in 2022 is September 20th,
which
2022.
Is Sam's birthday, by the way.
Which is my birthday, but that's not the point. So you can't have an anniversary episode 1 week before the anniversary.
Yeah, it confuses me. I don't know. I'm confused
Christine's
by time.
trying to rewrite time.
I'm confused by time.
Yeah. She needs her own time.
So anyway, next week will be our 1-year podcast anniversary, which I think is fantastic.
I think it's pretty cool.
And I'm looking forward to it. We're going to have a little party.
Yeah, we will.
Okay. Well, hey, we did a lot of stuff, which means that once again, we have had to suspend or press pause on our vegan cookbook challenge.
Yeah, and we apologize for that. We've been getting a little bit behind on the recipes of the week. We've just been traveling quite a bit, and there's been a lot to do on weekends, which is when we often do our recipes.
We had one last week.
We did have one last week.
Yeah. And
I'm sure that we'll have one again shortly.
We should have one next week.
Okay.
I think we'll have one next week.
Yeah.
So if you were looking forward to the recipe of the week, I do apologize. You will probably get one next week.
Yeah, and we should be able to get back into a regular groove on that real soon.
Yeah, once the Vegfest season comes to a close, we'll definitely have more time where we're at home and cooking for ourselves more. So stay tuned for that. But we have a lot to talk about because we once again traveled north of the border.
Woohoo!
Yes, woohoo indeed. We had scheduled, and you may have heard this before, that we scheduled a trip to Toronto for Toronto Vegfest.
Yes.
But alas, Toronto Vegfest was canceled.
Yes, it was.
Due to them losing their venue for some reason.
Yeah. And we had a non-refundable hotel reservation, so we decided it would be the perfect opportunity to just go and do a little extra exploring in Toronto.
Yeah, we never would pass up a chance to go to Toronto, even though Vegfest was canceled. And so non-refundable means we're going to Toronto.
That's right.
So off we went.
We did.
So we had a easy trip there and a relatively uneventful border crossing.
Yeah.
It's much easier. Somebody on Instagram did ask me, was it hard to get across the border, that they had heard that there is a lot of restrictions. Well, those restrictions have since been lifted. Mm-hmm. And all you have to do is register on the ArriveCan app.
Yes. And the ArriveCan app is super simple. It just asks you some basic questions about the dates and reason for your travel. You do have to upload photos of your passports, of however many people are traveling, of course, and then give a little bit of information about your health, meaning, have you been experiencing any COVID-like symptoms in the past few days or anything like that?
Right.
And you're good to go. We found that because we do the ArriveCam app before we leave, so we're not sitting there doing it in the car as we're at the border.
You don't want to wait because there is no cell service at the border crossing.
Yeah. And she means no.
Yeah, no,
cell service.
It's a dead zone.
It's a dead zone. Yeah, so you want to make sure that you do it at least a day before.
Yeah. Now, they're not requiring for us to upload pictures of our vaccination status or anything like that?
No, they do ask your vaccination status,
okay,
but they are not requiring photos of your vaccination card.
Yeah, I know they're not requiring to see the cards either, but I was wondering if they were requiring a photo or something like that.
No.
So they're not even requiring proof of vaccination.
Right.
Really? I mean...
Yeah, so it's super simple.
Yeah.
It takes literally about 5-10 minutes at most to complete the ArriveCam app. Mm-hmm. And you do need to do this each time you cross the border.
Yeah.
But yeah, it makes the border crossing really smooth, really easy.
Yeah, we got across the border, no trouble at all.
Yep.
So we crossed the border, paid our toll to get into our beloved Canada, and then headed straight for a place that I've been meaning to have us visit, which is Coven Plant Based Marketplace. They're at 949 Main Street East in Hamilton. And what a cool shop.
So cool.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Now, of course, we've encountered Coven for the first time in person at the Burlington Vegfest several weeks ago, and immediately knew it was a place that we had to check out further.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we wandered in, went, okay, wow, this is great, and immediately started perusing the grocery aisles.
Yeah. Yeah. They had some really interesting things on their shelves that we had not seen before.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, because we were traveling further, couldn't buy a lot of frozen goods because they had a lot of really cool
frozen stuff.
Products. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'd wish we could have gotten more, but we did buy some Boursin vegan cheese.
Because Christine cannot resist the Boursin vegan cheese.
I love that Boursin cheese. See, I grabbed some Sunrise brand smoked tofu because I love a good smoked tofu.
Yeah.
They had the new Silk Pumpkin Spice Coffee Creamer. So I got some of that because I knew in the hotel room they would probably have a little coffee pot, but they never provide non-dairy creamer.
Right.
And what else did we get? Oh, 2 of those Vigo chocolate hazelnut candy bars.
My favorite. Oh my gosh. This is the first time I've actually seen Vigo chocolate bars in a store.
Really? The vegan grocery store doesn't carry those?
Nope.
Oh.
I haven't seen them.
Oh, I didn't know that. I thought she did.
No. So Vigo is my favorite. It's essentially just like a Ritter Sport. If you know those, but it's just solid chocolate with whole hazelnuts. Mm-hmm. And they are so good. I love them so much.
They are really good. I got up in
amazing.
I got up in the middle of the night and had a little bite of one.
Yeah, right? She opened my chocolate without my permission.
I did while you were sleeping.
Yeah,
I'm not a big candy fan, and that one bite was all I had, and that's all I will have of candy. But for some reason I woke up and it popped into my brain that those were there, and I'm like, oh, I haven't got a little bite of one of those candy bars.
There you go.
It was good. Mm-hmm. And we also got 2 really cool long sleeve Coven t-shirts.
Yes, which I was super psyched about. I love my new Coven t-shirt. I wore it for 2 days straight over the weekend.
Yeah, what do they say on them?
Well, on the front, there's a big kind of gothic picture of 3 animals meant to look like Macbeth's 3 witches.
Right.
Of course. And then at the bottom it says something vegan this way comes.
Right.
And then on one arm it says double double, and on the other arm it says toil and trouble.
Toil and trouble.
So yes, you get a great vegan image, but also some really nice Shakespeare references too.
Yeah, they have a really cool aesthetic there.
Yeah, love it.
Their logo and everything. Kind of witchy and stuff like that. So
totally. Hence the name.
Yeah, hence the name, Coven. Then we made our way to their deli counter. They have a full deli there. And we ordered a couple of sandwiches from their deli. And you got the vegan turkey club.
It wasn't a club. It was just a vegan turkey sandwich.
Vegan turkey sandwich?
Yep.
Okay. And I got their breakfast sandy, which is just egg, a house-made sausage, and vegan cheese. And both of them were on these really soft brioche buns.
Yeah, really delightful buns, actually. Mm-hmm.
And what was in your sandwich? Just a vegan turkey?
So it was a vegan turkey, yes. And I believe there was vegan cheese in there as well. I don't know what brand or exactly what flavor. Tomato, lettuce, vegan mayo.
Okay.
Yeah, so it was a very simple, straightforward sandwich, but seriously tasty.
Yeah. And then you got something from their bakery case.
I did, because I can't resist a bakery case. It's just not possible.
You can't. It's true.
I don't do it, because I'm sorry. There's something just incorrect about passing up a bakery case.
Yeah.
I can't do it.
Yeah, so what did you get from the bakery?
I got the raspberry passion fruit flaky.
Oh. Yes, and then she ate it and didn't let me taste it.
Well, I didn't mean to.
I know she went and got...
You were laying there in bed next to me and you said, oh, are you having your pastry? And I said, yeah, I'm having my pastry.
I know.
Did minutes you ask for a bite?
I didn't. At that point, I didn't. And a couple of minutes went by and I'm like, ooh, can I have a bite? And she's like, it's gone. Well, I'll have to take her word for it that it was delicious.
Oh my gosh, it was fantastic. So let me tell you, this was a riff on a Napoleon, really. So there were two.
Yeah, it looked like a Napoleon a little bit.
Yeah. So there were two sections of this incredibly fluffy, crisp puff pastry. And then in the middle, there was a layer of raspberry jam and a layer of like a passion fruit cream.
Ooh.
So good. Like just ridiculously, ridiculously good.
Sounds really good.
It was amazing.
Wish I had tasted that.
You should have asked earlier.
I know, and I know better.
You do know better.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, if you want, I will gladly share my desserts with you, but you have to ask.
You can't sleep on stuff like that around Sam. Like if we get like cookies or something, unless I specifically say, leave me one cookie or whatever, she's got a sweet tooth, the cookies will be gone.
Well, I mean, not gone. It won't be immediate. It's not like I'm stuffing tons of cookies in my face.
It's not immediate. And I get this from my father. This used to happen when I was younger. My dad, he liked like Thin Mints and cookies like that. And he also would not say, make sure you leave me one. And we would eat them. And then he'd be mad because they were gone.
Well, right. Because the thing is, if we bring home baked goods, okay, fresh baked goods, you want to eat them when they're relatively fresh. You don't want them sitting around for a week.
I know. And I'm always like, I'm going to save that for...
And she's like, I'm going to save it. I'm going to save it. I'm going to save it. And I'm looking at it going, it's getting stale. It's getting stale. It's getting stale. So, yeah. No, I'm willing to share my desserts, and I'm happy to save you as many cookies as you want to be saved.
I just have to tell you in advance.
Well, it's helpful.
Yeah. So anyway,
so
that was Coven, and I'm sure we'll be back there.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Great little store.
Fantastic.
And again, if you're in the area, they're at 949 Main Street East in Hamilton.
Yeah, and if we lived anywhere near there, we'd seriously be in there all the time.
Yeah, there's a great little grocery, and they have a little bit of everything.
They really do.
They have dry goods, they have frozen goods, they have refrigerated items, they have a full deli counter.
Yeah, just the deli counter alone.
And a bakery counter. So
yeah, totally awesome.
Awesome little store. And I heard they're opening a new location in Kingston.
Not Kingston, Kitchener.
Kitchener.
There you go.
Thank you. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so...
Kingston's in Jamaica.
Right.
Kitchener's in Ontario.
Well, I'm sure the people of Jamaica would appreciate having them there.
I'm sure the people of Jamaica would.
Yeah, so Kitchener, Ontario. They're going to have another location there, which is good for the people of Kitchener.
And that'll be opening in January 2023.
Yeah, so then we hopped back in the car and ventured on our way to the Hamilton Farmers Market in downtown Hamilton.
Love it.
And we had to find our way around. They were setting up for a festival that they have that's called the Super Crawl. It's like an arts festival.
Yep.
So it took us a while to get to the market because every time we turned, it was like road closed.
Road closed.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Well, let's go down this block. Oops, road closed.
Yeah.
So we drove around in kind of getting larger and larger circles.
Yes.
As we made our way.
Yes, that's a fair statement.
Yeah, until Sam's like, I can see the parking garage. I know how to get there.
I know where we are now.
So that was fun. So yeah, we made our way to the farmers market, and our first stop there was at our friend Kristy's place, the Apothecary Kitchen, where we picked up some amazing soup.
Yeah, if you've heard us talk about the Apothecary Kitchen before, and I'd be very surprised if you hadn't, unless you're very new to the podcast.
Yeah.
Kristy makes up some of the best soups we have ever had.
Indeed.
And I was super, super jazzed that there was one jar of my favorite coriander, carrot, orange, ginger soup, which I am just so excited for.
Yeah.
I cannot wait to open up that soup.
I know. So we have many, many soups. What other soups did we get?
We also got the ratatouille-inspired French lentil, which we actually got a taste of while we were there, and it is astounding.
Yeah.
Just a beautiful, mild, tomatoey base, but gorgeous lentilness. I love it.
Yeah.
Amazing. And then we also got the definitely dairy-free cream of broccoli.
Oh, yeah. I'm looking forward to trying that one.
Yes. We're both big fans of cream of broccoli soup. And we also got 2 curried soups. One was a curried butternut squash, and the other is a curried carrot and sweet potato.
Yeah.
So all of those I just know are going to be awesome.
I'm hoping next week we get some, cooler weather. So because we have some soups to eat here.
We do.
People.
We have soup to eat. Come on, Mother Nature, help us out here.
We have some soups to eat.
Yes.
And then she comped us, which she's always throwing things our way.
She's just
thank
way
you
too
so
sweet
much,
to
Kristy.
us.
But
Yep.
she threw in one of her jarred salad mixes.
And I believe she calls these strata jars.
Oh, strata jars. Okay, I couldn't remember what she called them, and it wasn't labeled. So
Yep. Nope. I believe she calls them strata jars, and they are essentially a incredibly well-balanced salad layered into a mason jar.
yeah. So these would be great for like take to lunch or whatever. You just toss that jar in your bag. And
I ended up having it for lunch just today, and it was perfect.
Yeah.
It was absolutely perfect. So it was a blend of arugula and lentils and quinoa and edamame and cherry tomatoes and cucumber and some onion. There were some pepitas and some pine nuts. It was beautiful.
And it wasn't dressed, right? So
no, it wasn't dressed. So I put a tiny bit of dressing on it.
Yeah.
And it was just gorgeous.
It looked good.
It was fabulous. Perfect lunch.
Yeah. So thank you so much, Kristy, for all of the soups and for everything you do and for throwing in that salad. You didn't have to do it, but we're glad you did.
Thank you.
Then we made our way down the hall at the farmer's market. Oh, and by the way, if you've never been to the Hamilton Farmer's Market, it is a indoor.
Yes.
3-story? 4? 3-story? I think it's 3 stories.
I don't know.
Indoor 3-story, I think it's 3-story market. And it's huge, first of all.
Yes, it is. There's a lot going on.
There's tons of like produce vendors and crafters and food stalls and like anything you could possibly want or need is made available at this market.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So we made our way down the hall to our friend Fraser Fitzgerald's place. He runs a place called No Bones Plant Based Kitchen. And we wanted to make sure that we picked up some of his amazing, and I'll say it again, amazing vegan sausage rolls.
Yes. Yes. Now, Fraser makes amazing food in general, but his sausage rolls in particular are just to die for.
They are.
They are. So we ordered 8 of them.
Yeah.
And he was gracious enough to cook those up for us.
Yeah.
And we ate half of them as soon as we got to the hotel. They were still warm.
It was like, we didn't even unpack. It was like, put our bags down. Who wants a sausage?
It really was exactly like that. And they were just so good. Again, just light, fluffy, crispy puff pastry and this beautifully seasoned plant-based sausage, just absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, they're so good. And they're so, you think of a sausage roll as like something that's kind of heavy.
Heavy and greasy? Not at all.
No, they're so light. I could eat 8 of them. I really could. I mean, if I wasn't planning on eating anything else.
Yeah.
I'd be like, I'll just eat these 8 sausage rolls.
There you go.
I'll be good to go.
Enjoy. Yeah.
Yeah, they're really delicious. So yeah, definitely if you're in the Hamilton market area or the Hamilton area period, find your way to No Bones Kitchen and get some of his food because it's really good. He's got a bunch of new things on the menu too.
Yeah, he does. And so next time we blow through, we're going to have to try a couple of the new menu items.
Yeah, like a meatball sub or something.
Something like that.
We had already eaten at Coven, so we weren't starving, but I didn't want to leave there without getting some of those amazing sausage rolls.
Yep.
So, so we made our way to our hotel, which was in Vaughan.
Yes.
And Vaughan is like a suburb of Toronto.
It is. It's a bit north of Toronto. And this is the first time, actually, that we stayed outside of the city center. Most of the time when we go to Toronto, we're staying in either Chinatown or in...
like city center.
City center or
Old Town or
Kensington Market.
Oh, the Kensington
there
Market
we go.
area.
Yes. So either Chinatown or Kensington Market is where we usually wind up if we're not right in the center of the city. So this is the first time we've spent any time on the outskirts of Toronto.
It is.
Yes. And it was actually really nice.
I mean, it was okay. I don't want to stay that far away from the city next time we're there.
Well, we're not.
And we won't.
We already know that.
It was different. It was nice to explore a different area, that's for sure.
Yeah.
And we were thrilled to see that there was that IKEA right next to our hotel.
There was.
A giant IKEA.
Yeah, no, it's been decades since I've been to an IKEA.
Me too.
So we really did go to IKEA just for fun, to wander around and see what was there. And we also wanted to check out their vegan offerings at their little cafe.
Yeah.
Just to see what was on the menu. We weren't planning on eating there, but we just wanted to see what was going on.
We needed to walk off some sausage rolls.
We did need to walk off some sausage. Not wrong.
Yeah.
We really, really did. So we walked on over to IKEA and took a stroll through this massive store.
Yeah.
Like just absolutely huge. And didn't buy anything.
No. Can you? Well, we did.
Well, we didn't buy any furniture.
No, we didn't buy furniture or anything.
Or home decor of any kind.
No, we didn't. We looked. We were actually looking for a comforter, but all they had were duvet covers. So
right. Yeah.
And we're done with duvet covers.
Yeah.
I don't know if you out there are done with duvet covers, but I am so tired of duvet covers that we're at the comforter inside is always sliding around. Even when they have attachments, it's never right, and it drives me crazy.
Yeah.
But this IKEA had like all these huge showrooms of kitchens. They had kitchens, like full kitchen setups,
yep.
Full like living room setups and dining room setups and office setups. It was amazing.
Yeah, we found a couple of kitchens that were just like our dream kitchen.
Oh yeah, some of the little details in the drawers and stuff,
fabulous
for like where your spices go, and they really know how to they have organizing down for sure.
Yeah, they do.
IKEA.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, so we fell in love with a couple of different kitchens.
We did.
And sighed because we are, alas, too
far away from an IKEA.
Too far from an IKEA to have them help us get it installed because I'm not installing it myself.
No, that would be a bad
it would just
bad
be
scene.
too difficult for us.
There would be too much swearing involved.
There would definitely be swearing involved.
Way too much swearing involved.
And so this IKEA also had 2 different food areas.
Yes, they did.
And I looked on the website to see exactly what they called them, and they called the smaller one the Swedish Bistro.
Mm-hmm.
And I did see that at that one they had veggie dogs.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other one that they call the Swedish restaurant has meals, one including their vegan Swedish meatball they call the plant balls.
Mm-hmm.
It's a plate meal with like mashed potatoes and broccoli. And then they have another dish with the other vegan meatball that they make that they call veggie balls. So they have plant balls.
And veggie balls.
And veggie balls. And the plant balls are their vegan version of their Swedish meatball. And,
right.
And that's a pea protein product.
Okay.
So similar to like a Beyond or an Impossible
sure.
kind of thing. The veggie balls are the ones that are made kind of like a veggie burger. They're made out of vegetables.
Right.
They're made with chickpeas and carrots and peas and stuff like that with some pea protein, but it's more like a veggie burger turned into a meatball.
Cool. Both of those things sound really good.
Yeah, and they have one other thing that I thought on the menu that could be vegan. It's called a veggie medallion or vegetable medallion.
Mm-hmm.
It looks just like a kind of little hockey puck of vegetables, but there's milk in them.
Oh, bummer.
Yeah.
Bummer.
Milk. Why milk? I don't understand.
I don't know.
So, but 2 restaurants.
Yes.
Yeah.
2 restaurants. And they also had a little kind of a grab and go little area. And so unfortunately we did not buy any of the plant balls or the veggie balls, which they did have available in frozen iterations. Christine says that next time we'll have to buy ourselves a small portable freezer for trips like this. I say that's going just a bit too far.
Well, they have those little ones that are like kind of cooler sized that you can actually plug into the outlet in your car and it will keep things frozen or cold.
But then you have to keep the car running all the time.
Well, no, then you bring it with you to wherever you're staying and you plug it in.
Oh,
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I still think it's a step too far.
It is. For
really
frozen veggie meatballs, yes, it's too much.
So we didn't get any of the frozen veggie meatballs. We did, however, find some vegan gummy candy, which I am always excited to find.
They had like so many different flavors.
So many flavors. And so we actually got 2 large bags of assorted flavors. And so one of the assortments is various berries. So definitely there's a strawberry flavor, a raspberry flavor in there, and probably a blackberry flavor in there too. And cola gummies. For some reason, it's berries and cola.
Yeah.
And then the other assortment is lemon, lime, rhubarb, and cola.
Oh, rhubarb. There's one that's just rhubarb? I would like to taste the...
No, lemon, lime, rhubarb, and cola.
Oh, lemon, lime,
I'm
rhubarb.
sure there's a rhubarb gummy. I haven't opened that bag yet.
You would think that the lemon lime would overtake the rhubarb flavor.
Well, no. I think they're separate things.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. Is there one that's specifically rhubarb?
I believe so.
Cool. I'll try that one.
Yeah, I think that'll be really tasty. Yeah. And then you take one of the strawberry out of the strawberry pack and the rhubarb out of the rhubarb pack and put those together and yum, strawberry rhubarb.
Strawberry rhubarb.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that was really awesome. I love running into vegan candy. It's always fun.
Yeah.
And but that brought our trip to IKEA to a close.
Yeah, we walked back across this expansive parking lot.
It was huge.
I don't know how many people they're expecting at this IKEA, but seriously, it was a huge parking lot.
It really was.
Back to our hotel to chill for a little bit before we formulated a plan for maybe dinner or something.
Right. And so we decided that since we had lunch and also some sausage rolls, that we were looking for a relatively light dinner and a later than average dinner for us. So we headed out for dinner around 7 and we went to a nearby Copper Branch location.
Yeah.
Now, Copper Branch is new to us. They are a chain and are franchised. So each location is privately owned and operated. Mm-hmm. They have sandwiches, wraps, flatbreads, burgers, chilies, soups, bowls, smoothies, tea and coffee, and desserts. And they are fully vegan.
Yep. It's a fully vegan restaurant.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was a really kind of a cool vibe in there. It's kind of like, think Panera Bread, only vegan.
Yeah.
It's kind of what it reminded me of.
That's I think that's a fair comparison to make.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pretty good.
And I had I couldn't remember the names of the bowls.
You had the Aristotle bowl.
I had the Aristotle bowl, and I got it with brown rice and smoked tofu. What else is in the Aristotle bowl? Does it say on the menu?
It does. The Aristotle bowl also contains sweet potato cubes, bruschetta, black olives, hemp seeds, broccoli, beets, carrot, chickpeas, and mung beans.
Yeah, and mine actually had Kalamata olives. I don't know if maybe they just sub out for whatever they can get. It was really good.
Nice.
I enjoyed it. It was nice and light and crunchy.
Very cool.
And then what did you get?
I had the Asian fusion bowl. I got my Asian fusion bowl with some noodles. And then some, I believe they were called carrot kaftids.
What's that?
It's essentially like a falafel, but it's carrot based.
Oh, okay.
And anyway, so there was one of those on my bowl, and it was very tasty.
Okay.
Completely new to me, but very tasty.
Yeah.
And mine also contained edamame and bruschetta and mung beans, kimchi, black sesame, chickpeas, broccoli, beets, carrot, and lettuce.
It had kimchi? Mm-hmm. And you liked the kimchi?
It was a very mild amount of kimchi.
Okay.
So again, it's the whole degree of kind of thing, because we all know I'm not the biggest fan of fermentation.
Yeah.
But no, the amount that was on the salad was perfect.
Okay.
Yeah, it was very good.
Good to know, because I do have some kimchi, but I'm always afraid to use it in things because I know you're not a huge fan.
Right, but use it sparingly.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just don't like to be overpowered by fermentation.
Right.
Yeah.
But I've heard kimchi can be good on a sandwich and stuff, so.
I could see that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so then then it was back to the hotel.
It was.
After Copper Branch, which I enjoyed Copper Branch.
I did too.
Yeah.
I did too. And again, it was one of those places we're just kind of like, wow, if there was one of these anywhere near us, we'd be here all the time.
Yep. It's a nice, quick lunch. And it'd
be great for lunch.
We listed all the stuff they carry. So no matter what mood you were in,
you'd find something.
There was something, you know?
For sure.
Yeah. So we went back to the hotel to plan for the next day, Saturday.
Yeah.
And then, earlier, I think it was Thursday, before we left. It was either Thursday night or Friday morning. It must have been Thursday night.
It was Thursday night.
I made a reservation at a place that I've been meaning to check out, for a long time. A place called Eviva, which is not a solely vegan restaurant, but has this amazing vegan menu
and huge vegan menu.
Yeah, they have a huge vegan menu. And so we made reservations because reservations are usually required or at least recommended. And the only time we could get was 8 a.m. So, I mean, now this is a breakfast and brunch place.
Right.
So it was definitely breakfast, and we were planning on breakfast. And luckily we get up early. So 8 a.m. wasn't a big deal for us.
No, not at all.
No. But when we got there, we were the first and the only people in the restaurant for a good amount of time, which was nice because then we could kind of soak in the vibe and take pictures of the inside of the place and of our menu, and not feel like we were, insinuating ourselves on anyone, which was kind of cool.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah. And then we made our orders, and I was really looking forward to, they make a vegan Eggs Benedict.
Yes.
And they have an addition on their menu online, which is the vegan Eggs Benedict with vegan pastrami. Mm-hmm. But apparently this location in Vaughan does not carry the vegan pastrami. So,
well, no, I think they were just out of it.
Oh.
They were having trouble getting it.
Oh, okay. So
From what our waiter said.
So I just got their regular Eggs Benedict. Well, they make a vegan sunny side up egg with a yolk and everything.
Yeah.
So that's
which I'd never seen before.
Yeah,
which was really cool.
Yeah, which I was very excited for. And unfortunately, my yolk was not runny as it should have been. So I don't know if the cook made some sort of mistake there, like either overcooked it or undercooked it. I'm not sure the gastronomy involved in this vegan egg.
Right.
So that was a little disappointing, but the flavor was really great, on point. The hollandaise sauce was perfect, and it was on top of a bed of cooked spinach and a thick slice of tomato, and then, of course, the English muffin.
Yeah.
And it came with a side of home fries, which were a little cooler than I would have liked. They weren't cold, but they weren't as hot as I would have liked them. And then it came with a side salad, which was really good, like an arugula salad.
So nice. Arugula salad with watermelon radish, which is not something you see very often in a lot of places. So that's totally great.
And beets.
Really appreciated that. Like, I was just like, oh my God, yes, greens for breakfast. This is awesome. So did the Eggs Benedict scratch the Eggs Benedict itch?
Oh, it did. It definitely did.
Awesome.
Yeah, that vegan sunny side up egg, I don't know how they make it. I don't need to know. It's totally convincing.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Nice. And I went for a make your own vegan omelet. And honestly, I think this was the first omelet I've had since we went vegan.
Is it really?
I really think it is.
Oh, I thought I had made one, a just egg omelet.
I don't think so.
Oh,
I don't think so.
Whoa.
Once you made like a chickpea omelet with aquafaba.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but I don't think you've made a just egg omelet.
Okay.
And the aquafaba, while very good, doesn't have that texture.
Yeah, the chickpea omelet, you use chickpea flour and some aquafaba. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so this reminded me how much I used to love omelets.
Yeah.
Yeah. This was
what
incredible.
did you get on it?
Oh my gosh. I got so much stuff in it. As you would say, every vegetable under the sun, because yeah, that's just the way it is. But there was definitely peppers and onions and broccoli and oh gosh, what else did I put in there? I feel like spinach, for sure, spinach, and I can't remember what else, but I know there was more than that. And there was also some vegan mozzarella cheese, and it was perfect. Like, this omelet was heavenly from start to finish.
It looked really good, and you seemed to enjoy it.
Oh, very much. And it came with a side of home fries as well, which I agree were a little on the cold side. I would have loved if those were warmer. Mm-hmm. The absolutely beautiful arugula salad, and I got some absolutely fantastic rye toast with vegan butter. And let me tell you what a treat it is to have toast with vegan butter out at a restaurant.
Yeah, it's such a simple thing, and I don't know why.
So simple.
Every restaurant should carry some vegan butter. Just keep some vegan butter in your refrigerator, so when a vegan comes, even if you have nothing else on your menu, we can have toasted butter.
Yes, just toast.
I don't know how many times I've been to a restaurant, even when they do have vegan options, can I get toast with vegan butter? No.
Right. Or it's just not an option. Yep.
Vegan butter is just something you guys can keep in your refrigerator. It's really, it lasts for a long time before it goes bad. So,
yeah.
Restaurant owners out there, please carry vegan butter.
Yeah. So absolutely delightful. I was thrilled with this breakfast. Again, if we had one of these anywhere near us, we would be there regularly for a weekend brunch, no question.
Yeah.
And I have to say, of all of the restaurants I've been to that are not fully vegan, but that have vegan options, I really think that Aviva is doing this right. Because they're not an omnivore restaurant with a few vegan options, and they're not a vegan restaurant with a few options for the omnivores.
Right.
It's 50-50.
Yeah.
Down the middle. They are treating the vegans and the omnivores equally.
Yeah. And the vegan dishes that they have they're well thought out, and there's something special about each one of them. It's not, they're not phoning it in, for sure.
Oh, definitely not. These are not throwaway dishes that we're talking about.
Yeah.
And so I really do think that this is an incredible model for that crossover, and perhaps a place where some omnivores might go and say, I never really thought about having a vegan breakfast, but maybe I'll try this out today.
Yeah, this sounds good. Maybe I'll try it.
Yeah, exactly. So Aviva, massive gold star for you. Not only was the food outstanding, but I really do think that you've got this right. This is a great model.
The fact that a couple of things weren't perfect may have had something to do with the fact that we were the first people through the door. It was 8 a.m.
Yeah, hello.
So things may have not been prepared in time for our arrival. I mean, even though they knew we were coming.
It's all good.
But I kind of chalk up some of the mistakes, some of the missteps in our meal to the fact that we were the very first people dining that morning. They do only breakfast and brunch and lunch. They close at 4:00. They do have some really great brunch cocktails, and on their website, they said because a brunch without cocktails is just a sad late breakfast.
It's a great saying.
Yeah.
Now, given that it was 8 a.m. when we were there, we did not have cocktails.
No, well, you considered a mimosa.
I did consider a mimosa.
And if you'd have gotten one, I probably would have too, but...
Yeah, but no, it was 8 a.m.
Yeah.
If it had been a little later in the day, we probably would have done it, but yeah. Now 8 a.m. is too early.
It's a little too early, yeah.
The only excuse for a mimosa at 8 a.m. is like Christmas.
Right, we do poinsettias at Christmas in the morning,
yeah,
which is the same as a mimosa, except you use
cranberry juice
instead of orange juice. Yeah. And I actually prefer a poinsettia to a mimosa any day. I'm not a huge fan of orange juice.
I know you're not.
Yeah.
I don't understand that, but that's okay.
Well, after our satisfying breakfast, we headed back to the motel. Did we have motel? The hotel. We did, right? We just went right back.
Yes, because I had to publish the newsletter.
Oh, right. Because Sam wanted to finish up the newsletter and get that out. And we wanted to plan for the rest of our day and stuff. So you worked on the newsletter, and I think I played some video games or something.
You did. Yep, you were playing some video games. I think you were playing some...
I brought my Switch.
Is it Stardew Valley?
Stardew Valley.
Yep.
If any of you out there play Stardew Valley, look me up.
There you go.
Because I'd love to exchange Stardew Valley farm information. So then we decided, Sam decided that we should do something different, instead of finding another place to eat or whatever.
Well, because usually when we visit Toronto, we spend our days wandering here and there and everywhere. Downtown.
And we weren't downtown, so.
Right. And so I thought, maybe this is a good opportunity for us to do something a little bit different. Also, we knew it was going to be a very, very warm day.
Right.
And also we learned that the subway ride from Vaughan into the center of the city is about an hour and a half.
Yeah. Fraser happened to mention that we were near a subway station there.
Yeah.
A relatively new subway stop there in Vaughan, and he said nobody uses it. Well, Fraser, I can see why nobody uses it. It takes far too long to get anywhere.
Right. I mean, you're essentially tripling the amount of time that it would take to get into the center of the city by driving.
Yeah, I don't understand why it takes so long.
Yeah. So we decided initially our plan was that we were going to take the subway into the city and see how that went. But when we found out that it took that long, we were like, let's just do something else. And so instead, we decided to take a trip to the Ontario Science Museum.
Yeah.
Which I'd been to a couple of times as a kid and really, really loved. Mm-hmm. And so I was very interested to see how it had evolved over the years. And so that's what we did. We got some tickets and off we went.
Yeah, I have in the notes. So off we went to immerse ourselves in science. And you have to say it that way.
Absolutely, without question.
Yeah, when we first got there, the first thing that we saw was this demonstration that was happening where a man was doing a demonstration on electrostatic energy. He had one of those Van de Graaff generator things with the big metal ball.
Right.
And there were all kinds of kids in line waiting to, put their hands on the ball and make their hair stand up. So we watched that for quite a while because it was very entertaining to watch these kids. Oh my God.
There was one little boy in particular who went up there with his big sister. Uh-huh. And so the girl had her hand on the big silver ball.
Right.
And was holding her brother's hand. Uh-huh. And his hair just stood straight up off of his head, and he's looking in the mirror and he is just cracking up at himself.
Yeah,
and
he
it
was
was
laughing
just
hysterically.
Brilliant. It was just so beautiful.
Yeah, it was fun
to see how happy his ridiculous hair made him. It was spectacular.
It was pretty fun to watch. So then we moved on to check out some of the exhibits. There were tons of exhibits on sound and light, and there was an exhibit where you can you put your hands on these bars and it reads your pulse rate.
Yeah.
It would make these lights, and there was like a pulsing sound too that would happen, and that was pretty cool. Oh, and then we made our way to an exhibit which was, funny enough, sponsored by AstraZeneca, which is, of course, a large pharmaceutical company.
Right.
If you're aware. And in this exhibit, there were all these different exhibits about the human body and how the human body works and how the different muscles in the human body work. But there was one particular display where you could develop a daily meal plan.
Right.
And you enter your age and your height and your weight. And Sam did it. And then you proceed to choose food groups from all these different groups. Explain exactly what you did there.
Yeah. So essentially what you had to do, like Chris said, you put in your age and your height and your weight. And it essentially has in its head then how many calories you should be consuming over the course of 3 meals.
Okay.
And then what it does is it asks you to choose foods that you would eat to get to that calorie count.
Okay.
Or whatever it is. And so I'm going along and I'm picking all my veggies and, salads. And there was a barbecue, like veggie kebab or something. So we threw one of those in. And I think there was like some vegetable soup. We threw that in. But the problem was they didn't really have any options that were kind of a centerpiece of a vegan meal. So, you're choosing a half a cucumber. And I'm like, okay, but okay.
So she's
that's
like,
fine.
I'll have 5 of those.
Right. And unfortunately, each of those things counted separately. So we found it actually impossible to make a calorie dense meal out of the vegan options that were on the display.
Yeah, it was impossible. Also, they weren't counting any of the protein from any of the vegetables.
No.
Even legumes, it wasn't counting. If it wasn't counting very much.
No, I don't think it was counting very much. Actually, I don't remember even seeing beans on there as a protein source.
There wasn't any beans.
No.
Was there grains of any kind?
There were grains. There was brown rice.
Okay, there was brown rice.
So I picked some brown rice.
Yeah.
But there were no beans as options. Okay. So otherwise I would have picked some black beans and some chickpeas and, that kind of a thing.
Yeah.
But that wasn't available. Also, tofu wasn't available as
tofu.
A choice.
No.
So I found it really, really interesting that this exercise, which was still totally fun, but it was just very much skewed towards
animal protein.
Animal protein.
They wanted you to pick animal protein because it wouldn't let you pick enough things.
It wouldn't let me pick enough fruit and vegetables.
Yeah, it said you couldn't pick anymore.
Right. Like I started adding fruit to my plate and they're like, nope, you can't do that. You've already used up all of your space.
Used up all your options, but then your calorie count was like half of what you were supposed to have.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So we found that kind of interesting. Being that the whole exhibit is sponsored by a drug company.
It's not entirely surprising.
No.
They
don't want you picking a healthy meal that would keep you from buying their drugs.
Right.
There was a small exhibit on global warming and climate change.
Oh, teeny tiny.
Yeah.
It was so small.
It was literally like a closet size thing. You could wander around. It was like, for instance, like, when you're in like a Walmart and there's like a sunglass display.
That's a good...
It was about that size.
Yeah.
That's how big it was. That's what they have, the space that they have dedicated for global warming and climate change in this science museum. And it showed pictures of...
deforestation and...
like oil rigs and stuff like
that.
But no mention anywhere
of
animal agriculture. So that was a little disappointing.
Yeah.
Not surprising, but disappointing.
Correct.
And I put in my notes that I wasn't surprised because most of these museums rely on government grants and funding along with community support. And they wouldn't want to lose any of that community support by actually telling the truth about what causes climate change.
Well, I mean, you have to also, and I'm only playing devil's advocate here.
Yeah.
But I think there are a lot of folks out there who still just don't consider animal agriculture as part of the problem.
Yeah, there's folks, but this is a science museum, and the science is there. So.
Yes, but that doesn't mean that that's what's going to be put forward.
Right.
We know that not all science is treated equally.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah. Then there was another exhibit on plastics in our oceans.
Yes.
And they had little groupings of plastic, I suppose, that you could pick up on a beach or whatever.
Yeah.
Mostly consumer products.
Mostly consumer goods, yes.
And no mention of the fact that the most ocean pollution is caused by the commercial fishing industry.
Right. That most of the plastic in the ocean is actually from commercial fishing nets.
No mention of that at all.
Nope.
Which was disappointing.
Yeah.
I mean, I think, these museums are there to teach kids about the world around them. Mm-hmm. I think the more information you give them, the better.
Well, absolutely. But then again, you have to think that, how are our kids being taught about food and how are kids being taught about science?
Yeah.
And, there's a specific way that kids are taught. We were taught the same way.
We were, which is wrong.
I agree.
The way is wrong.
Yes,
the history books omit so much stuff, and science books omit so much stuff, and
I don't disagree.
It's frustrating to see that. I mean, we were still having fun. Don't get me wrong.
Oh, we were having a great time.
I certainly wasn't looking down my nose on the science museum.
Oh, you were.
No, I wasn't. I really wasn't. I just wish that they would have included, some of that information.
Yeah.
So we made our way through a bunch of different exhibits. There was a forest exhibit, which was fun. Mm-hmm. They had like a little microcosm of a rainforest.
Oh, the rainforest was my favorite.
Which was neat.
Oh, it was so great.
Yep. The planetarium, there was a space exhibit, but the planetarium was closed. And I have yet to be at a science museum where the planetarium is not closed. They're always closed. Does anybody know why the planetariums are always closed?
I don't know. I'm sorry.
Because that's my favorite part, the planetarium.
I'm sorry.
The space travel section of the museum was interesting in that you don't think of Canada having a space program because they don't. Really. So a lot of it was American stuff. They had a model of the space shuttle and a couple other things about American space travel. Yeah, so that was the space travel section.
Yeah, the space exhibit was really cool, and we both agreed that stars are just the coolest thing ever.
They are. They had lots of really cool photos of the different nebula and stuff like that, which was cool.
Yep.
So then after that, we did a little recon on their food court. There was a veggie burger on the menu, but we're not sure if it was vegan, and there wasn't really anything else. We weren't planning on eating. We always just like to see what options are out there.
Yep.
It was a fun way to spend the afternoon, I think. It was something different.
Oh, yeah. I had a great time.
Yep.
Yeah, it was lovely. I mean, we were up and about and walking around and seeing some new things, but, we weren't out in the humidity and the heat.
Yeah, it was very warm.
It was. And so I was glad that we weren't walking around Center City with tons of concrete everywhere on a day like that. That would have been the recipe for a new round of sun poisoning for me, probably, or heat poisoning for me.
So we left the museum and decided we should hunt down maybe an early supper.
Yeah. So because we had breakfast quite early, neither of us usually eat that early in the day.
No.
So, it's getting to be around 2:30, 3 o'clock. And we're like, okay, well, maybe we'll do a late lunch / early dinner.
Yeah.
And so we sat down for a few minutes just outside of the museum's food court, and we decided to get some Indian food because we hadn't had any Indian food in quite some time. And we did find a fully vegan Indian food place called the Veggie Thali.
They're located at 1410 Victoria Park Avenue.
In North York.
Yep, North York, which is just outside of the city. And this is a really unassuming little place in like a little plaza.
Tiny and so cute.
Yep, a little kind of hole in the wall. But as soon as we walked in, we were greeted by the smiling woman.
Oh my gosh.
Behind the hot case.
Yes.
And her hot counter was filled with like the most amazing looking and smelling Indian food you can imagine.
When you walked in there was just unreal.
Yeah, it was amazing. And we looked at the menu for a little bit and both decided that we would get the thali.
Mm-hmm. That's kind of a no-brainer. When you have the option to get thali, please do. I once had the privilege of having thali in India, and you have this big circular plate and they put little amounts of many, many different dishes all around your plate. And then you have your naan or your roti or your paratha or whatever your bread is in that moment. And, as you finish things, they keep adding more things until you finally say, no, I'm done. So this was a little bit different, but it was still a wonderful variety of dishes. So we weren't just ordering a single dish each. And so each of our platters had several different dishes with some basmati rice and served with roti. And in this case, it was a whole wheat roti, which we were very excited about.
Yeah, it was really good.
So what was on your thali?
My thali included aloo gobi, which is turmeric spiced cauliflower and potato dish.
One of my favorites.
Also one of my favorites. We actually told the woman, the owner, she's like, what do you want? And I said, surprise you us. Said surprise us, and I said, I trust your judgment. Just give me what you think is best. I mean, I know it's all good, but give me what you think we're gonna like. She gave me dudi chane dal, which is yellow lentils and squash, and alo bengan, which is braised and seasoned eggplant with a potato curry.
Yes.
And each of our thalis came with a serving of halwa, which is or halva. Halva, which is Indian dessert, which is made with semolina, dried fruits, and it has in it simple sugar syrup.
Yes.
And that makes it sound like it might be really sweet, but it's just sweet.
Yes. And what you get a whole lot more than sweet, it almost has a nutty taste to it. Like I'm sure there's some almond or pistachio.
There was some almond in
there.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's just fantastic.
Yeah. So what was in your thali?
My thali was chana masala. Chana masala are chickpeas and tomatoes and Indian spices. One of my favorites. It's way, way up there.
Mine too.
I had some sabzi, which are mixed seasonal vegetables. And I also had the dudi chana dal and the serving of halwa.
It was so good.
It was so good.
Yeah. Now, while we were waiting for her to make up our thali, did we get 4 samosa?
No, 2.
Only
2. We got one each.
Okay, we got 2 samosa, which were one of the, if not the best samosa I've ever had.
I think I'm going to put it at the best samosa I've ever had.
Delicious.
Yes, this was the kind of close your eyes, oh my God delicious.
Yeah.
It was just perfect. The moment I bit into that samosa, I was immediately transported back to India.
Yeah.
It was perfect.
The dough on the samosa was it was like paper
so
thin.
So light.
Yeah.
The filling was perfectly spiced.
Yeah.
Beautiful texture. Like, it was just amazing. You could taste the love.
You really could.
That went into these.
In all the food, you could taste the
Yes.
love, for sure.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Absolutely incredible.
Yeah, this food was made by somebody who enjoys making the food that they're making.
Yes, and not only that, but you could kind of tell that this was the kind of food that had been passed down and passed down and passed down. You know, this lovely woman, she must have learned from her mother and grandmother, who learned from their mothers and grandmothers. And I don't know, there's something just so special about that.
Yeah.
And this food was unbelievable.
It was definitely the highlight of the trip.
I agree.
Yeah. I mean, it just like, it tasted like home cooking.
It really did. And the thing is, because we were talking on our way back, that this was probably the best food weekend overall
I think so too.
we've had maybe ever.
Yeah, which is amazing because on previous trips to Toronto, we have been to some really fine dining places.
Absolutely.
And we've had some really great food at those places.
Yes,
don't get
we
me wrong.
have.
But we've had this trip, I think we found the most food that was the most lovingly made.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Each place that we ate, the food that they make is just super lovingly made.
Yeah. So just outstanding.
And that makes a huge difference.
It really does.
You know?
Yeah. Like, we still don't know if we're ever going to find a single experience to trump our first experience at Plant a Queen.
Yeah.
That's a tough one to beat.
It's hard because I think that's the very first solely vegan restaurant we've ever eaten at.
Yeah.
It's also a fine dining
and
restaurant.
The food is
phenomenal. Super elevated.
Yeah.
And delicious, but don't get me wrong, you don't really taste the love in the plant to food. I taste food.
I disagree.
Really well prepared food.
Okay.
But I don't know, there's just something different about food that tastes like you could have gotten in somebody's kitchen. You know what I mean?
I hear you. Yep. Well, so anyway, the meal was absolutely superb.
Yeah.
And I again wished that we could just pack up the vegan thali and bring it back here with us.
Yeah, I actually asked the woman if she would come live with us.
Yes, you did. She asked how well we would pay.
Yeah.
And I said, oh, very well. I don't know exactly what that means, but we would.
I'm like, can you just come live with us?
Yes. And
we'll just adopt you and you can, she's like, and I'll be your personal chef. I'm like, yep, that's it. That would work.
And we did have to take some samosas to go.
We did.
So we ordered 10 extra samosas.
10 samosas for the road.
Yeah. And, had some later that evening when we started feeling naughty.
We ate so early, so we knew we'd be hungry later, but didn't want to like go out and find more food.
No.
Why not just take home a lovely bag? And fresh made, they made them fresh for us.
Yep. And they were beautiful.
Yeah.
And they were beautiful. Do you have any left?
You
ate the last ones today?
I ate the last 3 for my lunch today.
Excellent.
I put them in the air fryer. They turned out really well.
Perfect.
Yep.
Sounds good to me.
I do still have 2 of my sausage rolls.
And you'll have those for lunch tomorrow, I imagine.
That will be my lunch tomorrow. Also, we'll toss them into the air fryer to crisp them up. Up a little bit. It'll be so good. So that was Saturday. So then Sunday, which was the day we were planning on coming home, we had kind of a lazy morning because our checkout time at this hotel wasn't until noon, which is nice.
So nice.
Yeah. And for us, a lazy morning is we didn't get going until like 9 or 9:30.
Right. Yeah.
But honestly, with the way I was feeling, I could have laid there until 11:30.
Yeah.
But we wanted to get going.
Well, and especially because on the way home, we did want to check out another place in Hamilton that Christine had heard some good things about, and that is the Hardy Hooligan. And they are located at 292 Ottawa Street North in Hamilton.
Mm-hmm. And my first impression, when we parked the car, I'm like, this is a great little neighborhood. I get out of the car. There's all these cool little funky shops, they're selling antiques. And that one shop across the street had all kinds of funky, groovy, like Game of Thrones. They had Game of Thrones stuff.
Oh, yeah, the one right down the street.
Wizard stuff and they had like this life-size Chucky doll in the window. I'm like, I love this neighborhood. This is great. The funny thing about this neighborhood is one block up is a giant Walmart.
Yeah.
But it looks like all these shops on this like 1 or 2 block section on, what was it, Ottawa Street?
Ottawa
right?
Street, yep.
Were thriving.
Yeah.
I mean, this was a Sunday, early Sunday or
early afternoon.
Yeah, early Sunday afternoon or late Sunday morning. And there were plenty of people going in and out of the shops. And it looked like it was a thriving little community there.
Yeah, super cool.
Yeah, and super funky and groovy neighborhood. And then the Hardy Hooligan totally took that funkiness level through the roof.
Oh,
right?
my gosh. The vibe in there was just fabulous.
Awesome vibe.
Yes. Amazing. The walls were covered in all kinds of murals of like the Simpsons and other characters in that kind of animation
there
genre.
There were some Futurama characters. There was, I think I saw Beetlejuice.
Oh, there you go.
Was there.
Nice.
Yeah, somebody painted these beautiful murals on their wall, and the characters were all holding like, not all of them, but some of the characters were holding signs that said things. Yeah.
Like, 100% vegan or LGBTQSIA plus space, keeping vegan trashy. Like it was just awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just really fun, whimsical, groovy. I loved it.
Yeah. And their seating, they had on either side of the wall, on either wall, they had like church pews, which were plastered in stickers.
Yeah.
That obviously people that go there bring stickers and they stick them on there. Bands and places, different places you can eat.
Oh, just about everything you could come up with. Yeah.
Anything you could imagine. And there was, of course, a healthy amount of Hardy Hooligan stickers on there also. And then they had a number of tables the old retro table video games, like a Miss Pac-Man. There was a Galaga.
Space Invaders.
There was a Space Invaders. And that's way cool.
Yeah.
And they were all functioning.
Yeah, so that was pretty neat.
Mm-hmm. And what else? I mean, it was just filled with groovy stuff. They had art all over the walls.
Yeah.
Like original local artists.
Yeah.
That are hanging art there, and they're all for sale.
Yeah. It's just so much fun stuff to look at and explore. It was great. Yeah. And we were greeted by Marissa, who was one of the lovely staff.
Yeah, hey, Marissa.
The Hardy Hooligan. And she was just awesome, happy, smiling, said she loved her job. It was very, very obvious to us as we were sitting there eating our lunch that the folks who work at the Hardy Hooligan are really happy to be there.
Yeah.
Everybody just seemed...
They seemed super happy to be there.
Yeah.
Yeah. And super enjoying their jobs.
Yes, it was great. Yeah. Absolutely loved it.
There was a lot of tomfoolery going on back in the kitchen. You could hear people laughing, and
I mean, we got to see a freshly iced cake come out.
Yeah,
for photography.
Yeah, their pastry chef made this awesome Friday the 13th cake for somebody.
No, it was Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Texas Chainsaw, is that what it was?
Yeah.
Oh. Really cool with like a dripping blood frosting on the side. It was really cool.
Yeah. And so we ordered some food. We got some iced tea. Christine got a berry iced tea and I got the house-made classic sweet tea. Both of them were super refreshing and neither of them were too sweet, which is great because sometimes pre-sweetened teas can go a little too far.
Yeah,
These
they
definitely did not.
Yes. So then we're perusing the 3 pages of vegan offerings. And wow, it was so hard to choose. I mean, I'm looking at this menu. Well, before we had ordered, Marissa happened to point out they have a board which they put staff favorites, and these are foods that the staff put together for themselves.
Yeah.
So they're going to be good, right? Because the staff is going, I'm going to mix that with this and make this or turn this sandwich into something else.
Right.
And so then like every week or every other week, I don't know how often they do it, they rotate out these staff picks. And so this week, the staff pick was actually Marissa's pick. And it was Marissa's brisket and mac burrito with green onions, fried crispy onions, and vegan Doritos. Okay.
That just sounds insane.
It does sound insane. And when she first said it, I'm like, okay, well, I'm not getting that. That's just insane. And I'm looking at the menu and I'm like, the more I thought about that burrito, I'm like, You know what, Marissa, you sold me on the burrito. I'm getting the burrito. And oh my God, let me tell you, this burrito did not disappoint. So this was a burrito filled with macaroni and cheese. Their house-made macaroni and cheese, their house-made seitan brisket. And then the fried, and then it had all those textural elements, you know, with the crispy fried onions,
and the grilled onions,
and the Doritos. And it was just, I just couldn't stop eating it. I ate the whole thing.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah. And you would think that something like that would be really super heavy, but it really wasn't, even though I was eating a burrito filled with mac and cheese.
Right?
I'm eating a burrito filled with macaroni. Okay?
Yeah, let's just say that again. A burrito filled with mac and cheese. Who knew?
It was fantastic.
Yeah.
It did not disappoint, and I was extremely satisfied with it. And then on the side, we got...
Well,
let's not jump ahead.
Let's not
talk
jump
about
to
what
the
Sam
side
got.
just yet.
What did you get?
Okay, so I got the Turkey Bacon Club. And so it had their house-made seitan turkey, smoky seitan bacon, which is made by Sausage Party. You may remember that we talked about Sausage Party in the Burlington Vegfest episode because we had a couple of hot dogs that were made by them. It also had a house-made mayo and a club sauce, tomato, lettuce, and then I got mine on a small sub bun.
Right.
And it was really good. It just had that turkey club thing. And I think the star of the show on the sandwich was the bacon.
The seitan bacon?
Yeah, it was super crispy.
Yeah.
It was salty. It was kind of perfect. And so it really was an outstanding sandwich. And again, club sandwiches were something I used to get quite frequently when, we were not vegan. And this really satisfied that. But I have to say, for me, the star of the meal was the side that we shared.
Which was?
Oh my God.
No, it wasn't oh my God.
Dill pickle loaded fries.
That's right. Dill pickle loaded fries.
Where have these been all my life? If anyone had told me before yesterday that fries needed to be loaded with dill pickles and a dill garlic sauce and some vegan cheese and some green onions, I would have thought they were insane.
Right.
These...
you don't think of pickles on French fries.
No, but these were a stroke of genius. Absolute genius.
Yeah.
They were so decadent, but so light. Like, we both left the Hardy Hooligan saying,
I should feel like a nap right now, but...
I should feel completely uncomfortably stuffed. And neither of us did.
We didn't.
No.
Which was amazing considering the amount of food we consumed.
Yes. And these fries were just ridiculous. Just ridiculous. I mean, shredded dill pickle on top of French fries.
I know, right? So the dill pickle loaded fry is their crispy golden French fries seasoned with their magic fry dust.
Which we don't know exactly what it is, but it's magic. It's definitely magical.
Topped with melty vegan cheese, house-made creamy dill sauce, and shredded dill pickles. Yeah, I said that they were a revelation.
They really were. Like I said, stroke of genius. Whoever came up with this, you're a genius.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
Perfect.
Yes. And just such an incredible marriage of flavors and textures and, kind of the bright flavor from the pickle contrasting with kind of the earthiness of the potato and the creaminess of the dill sauce. Like, oh my God. Mm-hmm. It's just one of those things that you don't think should work.
Yeah. It's just the way that
does it ever?
Bite of the dill pickle, the bite of a dill pickle, the way that cut through the creamy of the cheese and the dill sauce, it was just, it was
like, I am
genius.
Seriously going to have dreams about these fries.
It was genius.
I'm absolutely certain that I will have dreams about these fries because they were just insane. And I cannot wait to go back and have more.
Yeah, we will definitely be back to the Hardy Hooligan to try more of what they have on their menu. And I wanted to tell everybody that if you want some drool-worthy web surfing, some serious food porn, check out their menu online and read all the stuff that they have, because every item on their menu makes you go, ooh, ooh.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep. And now, of course, we could not leave the Hardy Hooligan without taking some baked goods with us, because as we've mentioned before, I can't resist a baked goods.
No, they had a really nice baked good counter.
Pastry display. I can't do it.
Yeah. So what all did we get for baked goods?
So we wound up getting a half dozen cookies.
Right.
And a half dozen cupcakes. And we have not had a chance to taste them all yet.
Not all of them.
No. I can say that the lemon agave cookie is just dreamy.
Oh, yeah. They kind of hit it out of the park with that one.
They really did. It's a perfectly beautiful, chewy lemon sugar cookie.
Yep.
And it's dusted with powdered sugar that I believe is somehow enhanced with a little bit of lemon. Because it's just beautiful. Mm-hmm. So phenomenal work on that cookie. And
it could be like they have that they make that powdered citric.
Oh, really?
Acids. Yeah.
I didn't know
They have
about
like
that.
a citrus powder that you can
no
put on
kidding.
things.
I didn't know about that.
Yeah.
Ooh, something new.
So I think that's what they may have put on top of it.
Okay.
I had one of the 2 Mexican chocolate cookies that we got. And this was they're pretty good sized cookie.
Mm-hmm.
And thick and chewy.
Mm-hmm.
And when you hear a Mexican chocolate cookie, of course, I'm thinking it's going to be cinnamon and chocolate, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I wasn't expecting it to be, they use like a cinnamon extract in it.
Okay.
So it's like one of those, remember those hot toothpicks you used to get when you were a kid?
Yeah.
Do you remember those?
Totally.
So it's that kind of cinnamon and super chocolatey, but because of that hot cinnamon, it takes away all like the sweet, the rich chocolatey.
Oh, cool.
So it's, oh my God, I couldn't stop eating it. I ate the whole thing.
Yeah.
And my lips were tingling from the cinnamon.
Wow.
It was awesome.
Wow. Very
You
cool.
don't often eat a cookie and your lips are tingling.
Right? Yeah, that's very unusual.
Yeah. It was
That's
really
very
good.
unusual.
And
Oh, wow.
There's another one, so you'll have to definitely.
Yeah, I definitely will.
Yeah.
And we also got one of their regular chocolate chip cookies, and we got one of their banana oat cookies. So we're looking forward to trying those. And we also got a Punkaroo Sammy.
Right.
Now, the Punkaroo Sammy is 2 cinnamon cookies. Mm-hmm. And in between, they've got some funfetti buttercream.
Right.
And so it's kind of a riff on a Dunkaroo.
Right.
And we will be trying that very, very shortly, I'm sure. And so we'll definitely have to come back to that. We'll also have to come back to the cupcakes because we haven't had a chance to really dig into those yet.
Yeah, we'll report back on the cupcakes next week.
Yeah, we sure will. But just so you know, the flavors of the cupcakes that we got.
Yeah.
Okay, so we got a chocolate salted caramel. Mm-hmm. That sounds pretty normal.
Yeah.
That's a common combination.
Yep.
There was a chocolate pumpkin, which is a little unusual, I think. A chocolate strawberry. Mm-hmm. The peanut butter and pickle.
Oh, right. Peanut butter pickle.
The peanut butter pickle cupcake.
Yeah. And one of the guys that worked there said, you wouldn't think so, but he's like, it totally works.
So there you go.
He talked us into it.
He did.
Yeah.
And then there was also a s'mores cupcake. Mm-hmm. And the one that I'm most looking forward to, I have to say, is the key lime pie cupcake.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
That will be mostly yours.
Okay.
I'll hopefully get a little taste of it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, you will.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So we'll definitely report back on those cupcakes next week.
Yes.
So is that, I think that was it for the Hungry Hooligan. We will definitely be back
Hardy
there.
Hooligan.
I'm sorry. It made me hungry just talking about it.
Well, there you go.
They're located at 292 Ottawa Street North in Hamilton.
Yes.
And you will not go hungry at the Hardy Hooligan.
God, no. No way.
Yeah. So that was it. We saddled up the old Hyundai and headed back for the border with our bellies full and our hearts happy. We bid au revoir to our beloved Ontario. Until November, Ontario.
That's right. We'll be heading up
November.
again in November. We'll be staying at a little place right on Queen Street West.
Yep.
So right in the heart of the city next time.
Yeah.
And we will have more explorations of the vegan offerings in Toronto.
There's so many.
So many.
I don't know. I don't know if we'll ever run out of new places to go.
I don't think we will. Yeah. It's just going to be a lifetime quest.
Yep. So I'm going to move on to the housekeeping. We're running a little long.
Go right ahead.
We're at like an hour 15 here. I wanted to remind everybody that we were last week, actually a couple of weeks ago, interviewed by Michelle Olander of the Veg Your Best podcast. And she dropped that episode last Tuesday. If you want to check out our interview, just go over to her podcast, the Veg Your Best podcast, and check it out.
And that is episode 105.
It is 105 of the Veg Your Best podcast. We'll be in Syracuse next week, Saturday, October 8th, for the Syracuse Veg Fest.
That's not next week.
I'm sorry.
October 8th is about 3 weeks from now.
Again, I have no concept of time.
None.
So we will not be in Syracuse next week, but we will be in Syracuse for the Syracuse Veg Fest Saturday, October 8th.
Sure will.
Now, it's written right in front of me. I don't know why I said next week. That was weird.
I don't know.
We are wrapping up our Mockingbird fundraiser this week, so get your donations in by the end of this week, and then we're going to send that money off to our friends at Mockingbird Farm.
Yes, we are.
Animal Sanctuary. And mentioning, and speaking of Mockingbird Farms, they're doing their very first Fall at the Farm Festival fundraiser, which is just so fun to say.
It is fun to say.
It's Fall at the Farm Festival fundraiser at the farm on Saturday, October 15th from 12 to 6. And there'll be artists and vendors, and they'll have farm tours and face painting, a pumpkin patch, and amazing vegan food. Definitely save the date for that. That's Saturday, October 15th for the very first Fall at the Farm Festival fundraiser at Mockingbird Farms Animal Sanctuary.
And we will be there.
We will. We will next week we'll announce what new organization that we'll be fundraising for on our Buy Me a Coffee site. So if you do want to get some money to Mockingbird Farms, do it by the end of this week at our Buy Me a Coffee. That's buymeacoffee.com/cucumbers. Wanted to remind everybody to check out the wonderful resource page on our website at www.compassionandcucumbers.com. What all's on that website?
Oh my gosh.
On a resource page, rather.
So much on the resource page. So not only are there links to loads and loads of websites of activist organizations and informational pages and vegan starter kits and all of that, but also an extensive list of vegan forward books and documentaries. It is, of course, not exhaustive because I'm constantly working on putting more titles and constantly digging up new information for you. So it's an ongoing process, but there's quite a lot of great stuff up there, I have to say.
Yeah, check it out. Sign up for our newsletter on our website. On the very main page of our website, compassionandcucumbers.com, there is a little box where you enter in your email, and then you will receive every week a copy of our weekly newsletter that Sam writes.
Yep, every week.
Yep. Check out our new Patreon page. We have a Patreon page now, and you can subscribe. There's 3 levels of support. If you want to support the show, we will have early access, bonus episodes, blog posts, and all this stuff will be created exclusively for our patrons. And any money that we earn through our Patreon will be used to offset the cost of equipment and to improve the show. And I always put the link in the show notes. So check that out. Subscribe to the show. Rate and review us on your podcast app if your podcast app allows for that. Please leave us a review and leave us 5 stars.
Always with the 5 stars.
Gotta have 5 stars. And last but not least, share the show with a friend or family member or someone you love. Someone who you think will enjoy listening to us. Someone who's thinking about going vegan. Someone who enjoys listening to a couple of people prattle on about vegan food and vegan places to go. Chirpy, no. Sorry. Chirpy was scratching on the furniture, which is a big no-no.
Yeah.
And anything else for housekeeping? Do you have anything else to add to that?
I do not.
Okay, I guess we're wrapping up. Episode 52. Next week, we will be celebrating our 1 year of podcasting anniversary with episode 53.
Yeah, we will.
Even though there's 52 weeks in a year.
We're not starting this again.
All right. Thank you, everybody, for listening. I hope you found this entertaining, and I hope you all have a good week. We will talk to you next week.
Thank you, everybody.
Goodbye. Do you want to support the Compassion and Cucumbers podcast? Well, you can do that by joining our Patreon page. We have 3 different levels of support, and all 3 come with their own special bonuses. Hey, you can support the podcast and get yourself some really cool merch. All the links and deets are in the show notes. We'll catch you next week on the next episode of Compassion and Cucumbers.